United, for instance, just see what is going on in that club right now. I'm not saying this because I hate United, but this is something that has to be corrected, and fans are a huge part of this mess that is going on now. Manchester United, week in, week out. How come everything that happens in that team gets out to the press? These players have...
Watch Transit TV right now.
I'm Tochku Michael. Keep watching Transit TV.
Transit TV today is no smiles, no playing. This thing is getting serious. If you are a football fan out there, I don't care if you support Manchester United. I don't care if you support Arsenal. I don't care if you support Liverpool, Manchester City, Real Madrid, Barcelona, whatever club you support. This stuff is getting serious. It's time for us to rise as fans to save the game of football. When I started watching football so many years ago, the managers of different clubs we are referred to as boss, the manager, Sir Alex Ferguson, Boss Wenger, Capello. All these managers were in charge of the dressing rooms. But the way football is going right now, if we don't do what we need to do, if you cast your mind back, if you've been following football like a religion, somewhere around 10 years ago, up until now, even now, we are still dealing with the kind of disgust and siege that football agents try to hold this beautiful game of football, twisting players' heads and causing commotion all over the place, and forcing players to go head-to-head with clubs, getting players on undeserved contracts, and turning this game of football from an art to pure 100% business, and player and fans rode with it. It became all about just the players and the club. You remember 3-4 years ago, the Super League came on 3 years ago, and fans rose and saved football. It is time for us now to save football. Fans need to begin to realize that they support clubs and not players. These players have managed to twist and tweak things to make fans begin to have personal attachment to them at the detriment of the club that they support. And these players, when push comes to shove, they still manage to find a way to leave this club. So fans need to educate their minds and liberate themselves from this bondage that these players are using, both social media and local boy mentality, to put fans in, because even right now we can't even get quality football. Any little flick and turn from any player, the hype becomes high. He becomes a big player. He can no longer be managed by a manager. Manager becomes a nobody to him, and he becomes bigger than the club. This is what we are getting, and now we're beginning to make do with average players as superstars. People now come out, say what they want to say about their managers, and everybody will ride with it. It becomes a statement. And one of the examples of the modern day football in the last few years has been Manchester United. And I'm not saying this as a hate against the club. This is using it as an example to cite the way football is dying because of the weak mentality that these modern day footballers have, that they can't stand any kind of pressure. They can't stand coaches being sent them on the bench. And this is one of the reasons why I respect Lampard. I can't remember the year it was. That season he wasn't doing well at Chelsea, and he was going out of the bench. Of course, the Euros came. I don't know if it was the Euros or the World Cup, and he wasn't selected for England. What did Lampard do? He rolled his sleeves during the summer, didn't have a summer holidays, rolled his sleeves and walked his way back. He recognized the fact that he wasn't good enough to play for England and to play for Chelsea. By the time the next season came, Lampard was unplayable. He was not dropped, and he had his best season in Chelsea. What do we have now? Players, once the coach drops them for 2 games, they go on social media, they start to rant. They start to, of course, they have their media team behind them. They start to push narratives out there. But what do? Get next? Fans will jump on the back of the manager and start to put pressure on him. Before you know it, the manager loses his job. That player is there giving average performance week in, week out. When it's time for him to get a new contract, 6 months to his new contract, you see him, he starts to work hard, produce, either get a bumper contract or get a new one elsewhere. Fans need to realize this game that these players are playing and begin to let them to understand that we support the clubs and these clubs are there to us and not just the players. Yeah, we support the players, we back them, we want them to do well, but he can't come and ridicule the club and jump ship to the next one. Look at Manchester United, for instance. Just see what is going on in that club right now. I'm not saying this because I hate United, but this is something that has to be corrected, and fans are a huge part of this mess that is going on now. Manchester United, week in, week out. How come everything that happens in that team gets out to the press? These players have mastered the act of getting managers out of their jobs. They don't want to start this. Any player that leaves Manchester United, they start to talk. Even the ones that are in there, they go on social media. Look at Sancho. He did it. He never wanted to apologize. Who are you when Ferguson was? Even David Beckham was sold at a loss for United, and the boss didn't care, and still United were winning trophies. Cantona messed up and he was let go. At the peak of Vieira's career, Wenger let him go. He left Arsenal. So when did these players, and what is annoying about this is that these players are actually average players. They're not good. They're not as good. These are people that are still coming up. How dare you become a superstar overnight and start to rant and start to throw managers under the bus, and fans ride with it, and before you know it, these managers lose their job. Okay, tell me who are the managers out there for club to hire now? If you keep firing these managers, who are you going to hire? It's the same managers. Potter was doing a very good job at Brighton. He went to Chelsea. These players got him sacked. David Moyes came to Manchester United. He couldn't deliver. He got sacked. Look at what he's doing at Everton right now. So fans, this is the time for us to, and the reason why I'm making this video is because it's in reaction to the interview that Rant granted recently. And this, I usually don't get this mad easily, but this one got me tipped up because I have been boiling over this situation in a long time now. And I'm going to read this statement to you in an interview that Rant granted. This is a player, of course, he's not in the category of players who have not done anything, but as a seasoned professional, as somebody that has won everything in football, that probably going to be somebody in football after his career. This is not the kind of interview I expect him to be granting. He says, I said I didn't agree with certain ways of doing things regarding the relationship between him and the team. And this is talking about Ten Hag. It wasn't something that I thought was good for the team because some of the managers, some of the players were not at all satisfied. Come on, what are you talking about? It was not good in terms of the relationship with the coach. He always needed an example of a player who was alone the entire time he was at Manchester United. He did that with at least one important player on the team. He was always in conflict with certain leaders of the group. That is his way of managing. He said he was surprised that Erik ten Hag was given a contract in the summer. I was surprised myself. I can speak my mind, I'm a fan. But how dare you, a player, said this? Rant probably will want to go into management after his career. Is this what he wants to hear about himself when he gets into the business? So fans, this is time for us to rise against these players and call them out when they mess up, especially the local lads. It's getting out of hand and something needs to be done. Something needs to be done. The idea of any little thing that happens, you go on social media and start to write whatever you think to rouse fans against the manager. It has to stop. Fans should need to learn and stop falling for this trick. And let me know what you think. Do you support this new gimmick by players trying to throw managers under the bus, or do you think we should go back to the days where managers had the power to run the dressing rooms and give us what we like as fans? Players who are willing to die for the badge, players who are proud to play for clubs and wear the jerseys, and entertain fans and win trophies and win games for their teams. Let me know what you think in this one, and we'll see you again this weekend. Ciao.